Hi everyone, welcome to Chess Analysis channel. In today's video, we are going to see about the concept of floating squares in chess endgames. Guys, I swear this topic is an interesting one, so watch till the end. Let me explain the concept of floating squares with this example. The definition of floating square is if a square, let me draw, whose two corners are occupied by pawns on the same rank reaches the edge of the board here, then one of the pawns must queen. They will queen irrespective of the position of the white king. Let me prove it. Here it is black to play and win. See that the square reaches the edge of the board with two pawns on the same rank. Here black plays pawn to a4. Now here white is forced to play king to b4. Here black plays pawn to e4. If king into a4, black plays pawn to e3. I hope you don't calculate much longer because of my previous video rule of the square. Here white is not into the square. If you don't understand this concept, please do watch my previous video. e2, king c2, and now black is completely winning by queening this pawn. Let's slightly modify this position. In this position, let's draw a square like before with two pawns on any of the corners, but the exception from the previous position is the square is not connected all the way to the edge of the board. The only exception in the concept of floating square is if the square does not reach the edge of the board like this. Hope you all know this is not a square, it's a rectangle. Just kidding. Here the square is not up to the edge of the board, therefore the white king can hold this position to a draw or even a win. Even though black has two passed pawns in this position, white can win this position very easily. Here in this position it is black to move. Black plays pawn to a5, white plays king b5, e5, king into a5, e4. Now look at the rule of the square. Here the white is into the box. If you have seen my previous video, you know this concept. e3, king c3, e2, king d2, queens, king into e1, and this position is completely winning for white. Note that the pawns g6 and h5 are untouchable for the black king, because if let's say black plays king h6, white king can take his time to reach all the way up to f7, because if black plays something like king into h5, pawn to g7, and this pawn is now promoting. Let me show you another example. In this position, let's first look at the king side. Let me draw a square. The pawns are on the two corners of the squares, but the problem in this position is the square is not up to the edge of the board. Hence, black king can actually hold these two pawns, and even black is winning in this position. In this position, it is black to play and win. Here, black can play king h7, king h6, or king f6, or king f7. All moves are fine. Let me play king h7. Here white should play pawn to f6. Here black plays king to h6, and now white is under Zugzwang. If you don't know what is Zugzwang, I request you to watch my previous video on Zugzwang. Here if white plays something like king to f7, black plays pawn to h7, and this pawn is unstoppable. If white plays king to c2, black plays pawn to a2, and the pawn on a2 is now unstoppable. If king is c1, same, pawn to a2, and the pawn on a2 is now unstoppable. If king a2, pawn to c2, and the c2 pawn is unstoppable. Similarly for king a1, pawn to c2, and the c2 pawn is unstoppable. If pawn to f7, king g7, h6 check, king into f7, h7, king g7, queens, king into h8, and this position is completely winning for black due to the fact that, let me draw a square. These two pawns are on two corners of the squares and the square is up to the edge of the board. Hence, white king can't hold this position. That's it for today. Hope you all enjoyed my video. If you wanna see more educational chess videos like this, do subscribe Chess Analysis and click on the bell icon for more updates. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.